When I started changing, everybody felt मैं बहुत ज़्यादा हो गई हूँ, which was, because people didn't know while I was changing, and I was changing during lockdown. And then later, when my family started meeting me, I think they forgot. They were like, "Who are you?" Because everything started changing. Everything, be it not attending any birthday parties in the family itself, even if the baby is going to turn one, I'm like, I'm not going to be a part of it. No, 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 no. Because I don't want to do this myself. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't want birthdays to be so important. I don't want to have an importance, luckily, in my in-laws. Which is, see, now you see the good part. We don't remember anybody's birthday. Nobody feels bad when we forget. Now, when you're traveling, you can forget. There's no pressure of buying any gifts. No tension. है ना? इसको ये दिया, उसको ये क्यों नहीं दिया, है ना? This is better than that. Sometimes you buy the best for both, but there is always somebody who feels that was better. ले लो उससे. There is no tension of that. I save money. I save time. This useless thing is not happening anymore in my family. Children are not getting corrupt where they're like, oh नहीं birthday party है. School में chocolates distribute हो रही है, हमें भी ये करना है. Imagine the tension you save. So when you understand Quran and when you say why these things are a no, you understand that yes, ये जो बेफिजूल की चीज आपके दिमाग में जगह ले ली है, when all that thing starts coming off, then there is space for you to learn something more valuable. I stopped listening to music completely. It was very tough for me. That was very tough for me to stop listening to music at all. I remember when I met my husband for the second time in my life, and we had gone to meet Maulana Sahib in Dubai. And I remember we were in the car, and he was sitting with one of his friends, and me and my mother was sitting. And there's been a drop of silence in the car. And generally we're used to all these rappers and this song. And imagine I'm like, Dubai, I was like, when this journey is going to end? When am I going to go back? This is like, there's no music. Because I thought, you cannot drive without listening to a song. ये मैंने अपने जहन में हम अपना जहन बना लिया है, समझ रहे हो आप? We have told ourselves कि ये हो ही नहीं सकता. So I was like, there is no way that I can drive from here to there. It was like a पेट्रोल गाड़ी में होना हो गाना होना चाहिए, है ना? वो एक ही गाना भले 10 बार सुनो, फिर वो women, how we have this आदत, no, sometimes when of course my hair was loose at that point of time, blower on करो, आधा time mirror में देखो, आगे किसी के साथ accident हो गया, कोई कुछ लेना देना नहीं है. So self obsessed I was at one point of time, and I remember doing all that, and I was like, look, and I remember when my husband was there, like, कितने boring होते हैं ना ये लोग. I think I would get married to him one day, but he's not boring at all. He's very entertaining. So उस time पे मुझे ऐसा लगता था कि मौलाना साहब very boring यार. क्या इनकी जिंदगी में पूरा टाइम सलवार कुर्ता टोपी पहने रहते हैं, ना गाना सुनते हैं, पूरा टाइम फतवा देते हैं, this haram, this this. There's no life. They don't sit. I remember telling him, out of courtesy, I was like, I hope he says no, but out of courtesy, I said, I'm going to this cafe. Would you like to come? Like, no, then thank God. Because you would sit there and you would keep watching, and I would feel more shy to, probably sit there, enjoy the music, have my food. And he dropped me there. And at that point of time, of course, then I met him again in December. And again, because I wanted to meet Maulana, so he was my only source to meet him. So I was very selfish. I was like, I'm only going to talk to him because he's going to make me meet Maulana Sahib. So I remember going there. And then after that, I remember Maulana Sahib, telling him, it's a very beautiful message that he sent him, but basically he gave him this idea that why don't you approach her for marriage? And I remember one day he had this whole plan set up, and he's like, how do I tell her? First only, they think all that of Maulanas. Now she'll think that as a Maulana, I was eyeing on her, which is not the truth. Because even he was thinking, जैसे मैं सोच रही थी boring है, ये बहुत ज़्यादा important है. No, not in my house, because my mother does parda, all my sisters do parda. In fact, in my in-laws, we have two separate entrances for male and female. Like I still don't know कौन किसका husband है till date. I've met those females so many times, but I still don't know who their husbands are by face. Like I would never know because I've never seen them. And I find it beautiful, but to be very honest. But I remember Okay, I'm sure he must be thinking the same thing, like there's no way we are a match. Like we are two different people from different world. And I was like, no, 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 no. And I was always worried that, agar, sometimes I say, khayali pulao bana bhi leti thi. Okay, let me think for a while. What if I say yes? Oh my God, he's going to keep me caged in the house. Huh? He'll make me wear everything from top to bottom. I'll actually, be inside this table probably. He'll not take me out to eat because that day he just refused my, even though I wanted at that point of time for him to say no, but I was like, he's not going to take me to any lounge because if I go out, when you go to foreign countries, you enjoy certain food, you have a taste palette. And I was like, he's not going to take me here, he's not going to take me there. How will I watch movies? How will I listen to songs? No, very boring life, leave it. No. The imagination itself was so scary to get married to him, and I had my own imagination, which was so negative. Because that is what we see, and that is what we hear. And that is the reason I'm so active on social media with my husband, because I'm sure that a lot of ladies having this wonderful life. Probably what you see me flaunting on Instagram, I'm sure there are so many of us living that life, mashallah. And some even better. But the problem with the society is they feel, अगर हमने change कर लिया दीन, दीन पे आ गए, सही रास्ते पे आ गए, तो ये सारी चीज तो मैं नहीं कुर्बान कर पाऊंगी. They always think about, they're very negative. नहीं कर पाऊंगी, नहीं कर. This is what comes in your mind first, because you want to like enjoy, like okay, I can still follow my deen, but I don't want to. I want this thing to not happen, that thing to not happen. And then of course there came a point where things changed in my life. There were a lot of things happening in my life. Otherwise, I think Allah Subhanahu wa Taala also made it a point to be so clear with me that about my end, which was Jahannam at that point of time, that I was so scared. I've said that in so many interviews before that in 2019 in Ramadan, I used to see qabr, and I used to see myself in it, and I used to see myself burning inside it. And I was like, okay, 1 day, 2 day, 3 day. I saw that dream continuously for 1 week. And I was so scared even to sleep, to be very honest. I wouldn't sleep. I was like, shit, if I sleep, I'm going to end up seeing the same dream. And I used to end up, I used to wake up middle of the night. And I used to cry. I used to sleep with my mother, So I was like, okay, don't cry that much because my mother is already ill and, she's going to take it, kya ho gaya, this, that. She would not understand, she's more sensitive. So I was like, no, I can't discuss this with her. I remember that time, because I knew him, I called him. I said, see, so and so is the problem, what to do? So he always used to tell me, read this, read that, read this. I was like, okay. 2019, and then 2020 was, oh my God, the worst. Initial few months were the worst months of my life, of course, starting from 2019. See, everything that you do is always a build-up. I realized one thing that Iman and Kufr can't stay under one roof. And that was very clear. I can't be praying daytime and I cannot be partying at night. No, it's not going to happen. If I do that, some people say, no, this is also okay, this is also okay. हाँ ये भी कर लेंगे, क्लब भी चले जाएंगे, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है. ये भी कर लेंगे, पिक्चर भी देख लेंगे, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं. But when your eyes is watching so much of haram, your ears are listening to so much of haram, how are you going to be on the straight path? How are you going to love Allah Subhanahu wa Taala? It's impossible. Because forget about loving Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, I can't even pray 2 rakat with full concentration. जब मैं 2 रकात नहीं पढ़ पा रही हूँ नमाज, only thinking of Allah and His Rasul, how am I going to lead a life like that? How am I going to go to Jannat? How? Every Muslim, no matter what their situation or what their condition is, but it's always, you want to go to Jannah. That is your aim. So, that was happening. And then, of course, I started talking to Anas, and then I started reading Quran with more translation. And there was this one ayah which always disturbed me the most. I remember there was a day when I was reciting with him, and I was crying even then. That was my phase of recovery, coming out from anxiety, depression. There were so many things that was happening in my life, in my mind. Mentally, I was not fine, and I didn't know, okay, how do I correct this thing? But I knew one thing, that I have to change. I have to make my relationship stronger with Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. That is the only thing I knew. And I remember while reading Quran, because I have a Quran which has a translation, so क्या होता है translation पे नजर चली जाती है. And I was reading that good men are for good women. And good women are for good men. And bad men are for bad women. And bad women are for bad men. It was all about pure and impure. And that was the time I realized that I'm never going to have a pure partner. Because I'm not pure. And Allah is saying this in Quran. That only a pure woman is going to have a pure man. And considering that I am not a pure woman, how am I going to have a pure man? How am I going to have a man, who's clean? Because our expectation is like, the husband has to love you, he has to take care of your hukuk, and he has to only look at you, and he'll never message anybody, he'll never do. There's so many things that you have in your mind about your husband, but we don't reflect how we are. How much do you stop watching any non-mahram? Who's not your mahram? How much? Oh my God, we see people shirtless. Oh my God, I'm like, what do you find good in that? I never understood people liking somebody shirtless, a boy. Generally when women watch, and they're like, oh my God, I was like, what is there in it? I don't even understand this concept of having a crush. I remember when I was working in whatever my past was, I remember when they used to ask me, oh, who was your crush? Trust me, I had no crush. But because I used to listen to other interviews, and I was like, no, I need to have a crush. Otherwise, I will look so out of the box, So because somebody is taking some actor's name, even though I had no crush on anybody, I used to take somebody's name. Because how? I want to fit into this society. So I don't care whether this is truth or this is false narrative, but I have to create a narrative. So there were so many things in my life at that point of time I did which I never believed in. So yes, coming back to this ayah made so much, and Anas always used to tell me, and because I used to cry so much in front of him like one small baby, louder than the baby was crying right now. So Anas is like, don't worry Sana, because he was there for, to change me positively. He's like, don't worry Sana, forget this, the day you're going to do tawbah, you've already done your tawbah privately, but whenever you're going to announce it, whenever you're going to make it official, when you're going to start living like that, out there in the world, because right now nobody's approaching you, because of the lockdown, but when you start living like that, inshallah, you will have a pure man. And then, the purest of all, because my husband, he had never spoken to any girl before, he had done nothing, so when he was talking to me, he thought, I'm going to get bored of him. Trust me, this is what my husband actually thought. He's like, see, I have never spoken to a girl, so I really have no idea what do I tell her. So I hope you're not bored. I hope you don't think. He was so conscious. And I was like, no, relax, I like you. I want a boy like you. I don't want to stress after marriage. Bring your phone, let me check. Password kya hai, code word kya hai. I don't want to have that kind of stress in my life. I want somebody who I can get married to, and one day when I have a daughter, inshallah, I can say that this is the example of a man that I want for my daughter. And if that is something that you don't see in your husband, then I think that's a complete failure for a man. That if you don't see your future son-in-law in your husband, you have to be so confident, yes, this is the quality that I want. And I remember and I understood that, when Allah speaks about halal relationship, it's not just for the sake. It's not just ki bas halal karo. Nahi, there is always a backstory and a story that lives forever. Like I am, pehle to, of course, the dresses, 75% minus from the body, and the hair all over, the extensions, the lashes, the lenses, the body shimmers and the bronzers. Even all that effort, 3 hours in gym every day, couldn't keep a man in my life. Nothing. Couldn't stop him from cheating. Couldn't stop him from lying. And that is with so many people. It's not, don't take it on me, okay? It's like with so many of us, yeah. Nothing. Even if you take today the biggest names who are popular, they go through the same infidelity issues. So what do you realize? It's not the beauty. It's the Allah in your heart. It's the Islam in your heart. It's the khawf Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you're not connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is no fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then how are you going to fulfill your wife's hukuk? And how is a wife going to fulfill husband's hukuk? There is no way. Because if I didn't have had these changes in my life, I would be like, how dare you told me no for this? When my husband tells me no, don't do this, I'm like, yeah, okay, no problem. I love you more than this, you know. It's okay, I can let this go. How this change comes, how this acceptance comes. Because of the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know you have to say yes to your husband. You know, of course, my husband is not like, no, hota hai na, yes, 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 sab log kehte hain na, husband is too much. Hai na, too demanding. So they both have to understand. You have to find a way. You have to be somewhere in the middle. None of us are supposed to dominate each other. But of course, husband has a higher rank. अल्लाह सुब्हान व तआला कहते हैं ना, रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने कहा है, अगर हक होता और अगर ये इजाजत दी जाती तो औरतों को मर्दों का सजदा करने के लिए कहा जाता है ना. Imagine, so by this you understand the level of the man in your life. So one thing we have to realize, you like somebody, there are a lot of young girls over here, you like somebody, you love somebody, talk to your parents, get into a halal relationship, because if unfortunately you die during that time, you know, that is how you're going to be raised. And there is no forgiveness for that. हम कहते हैं ना, हम बड़े nails के साथ जिंदा रहते हैं, and when you die, I heard this lately, that when you die, they chop off your nails. But example, just an example, okay? Just an example, that they chop off your nails. Why? Let it be like that. But when you're going to be raised, you're going to be raised in the same situation, not how they modified you and put you in qabr, no. So how do we want to be raised? We don't want to be raised like that. We don't want our last day to be the first day of our hijab. Why Allah covers the body of a woman in 5 cloth and man only in 3? Because He doesn't want the woman's body shape to be seen. And Allah says, you know, मैंने बहुत अच्छा सुना था वो, कि अल्लाह की दुनिया में मर्दों की और औरतों की गैरत मर चुकी होगी, लेकिन अल्लाह की गैरत अभी भी बाकी है ना? No matter how young you are, how beautiful you are, even if you consider yourself ugly, old, but Allah has, it's all same standard. In front of Allah, we are all same. Nobody's higher, nobody's lower. अगर ऐसा होता तो अल्लाह कहता ना, पर्दा खूबसूरत लोग ही करे, गोरे लोग ही करे, है ना? But no, it's for everybody. Young, old, fair, dark, pretty, not pretty, doesn't matter. So that is the beauty. We have to understand that we can do so much in life in halal way, and trust me, the sukoon, forget everything else, the sukoon is the most beautiful part. I have never felt this sukoon in my life, what I'm feeling from last 2.5 years. Trust me. People who've not experienced this, they feel this is sukoon. Even when I was in my past life, I used to feel, I'm sukoon hai. Because I didn't know. Asal sukoon to taste ही नहीं किया था ना. See, when you don't taste anything that's original, you don't know the feel of it. You don't understand the feel of it. And the moment you feel it, you know, no, I was running behind something that was so fake. And that is when I realized the sukoon that I have in this. Like I feel, sometimes it's like astaghfirullah, like, you know, it's not bade bol, but sometimes you feel, Allah, at least I'm free from all kabira gunas. है ना? सगीरा तो अल्लाह ने माफ करने के कितने तरीके रखे, कितने तरीके. सजदे में जाओ, आप ये गुनाह करते हैं, जितनी देर आप सजदे में रहोगे, जैसे your sin falls off from your shoulder, है ना? Anything good, small little things, small sadqa you do, there is a reward for you. There's so many things to for your smaller gunas to do, but kabira are the major gunas. We have to try and save ourselves from that, and make sure that we promote halal relationship, because it's not just here in UK, even otherwise. There are so many divorces, so many. And I feel so sad. And when I see the girls and they're so pretty and they're so young, and I feel, oh my God, she's so pretty. How can somebody leave her with kids? And that is when I understand that there is some problem. There is some problem. So we have to make sure that we get deen in our lives. When we choose our spouses, you know, make sure that you're not choosing him because he has a good body or a height or a color or money or a car. When this is your criteria, this definitely, you know, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said that you can have this in your criteria, but what should be the first thing? His deen, his connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because when he has that, it's your win-win situation. He's always going to be there for you. Don't get worried about a second marriage, third marriage, leave all that. Your focus should be, you should be happy. And he respects you. That is what matters. He should be the reason why you enter Jannah. It's going to be so beautiful. At the end of it, they have to be with you. There's no chance. No. I was like, you're going to meet me there also, so you know, live with it. So Alhamdulillah, that's how it is. And the more nice and kind you are to your husband, you're more friendly, you smile, you laugh, he makes you laugh, it changes the whole dynamic. Trust me. And trust me, there are good men out there. So anyone who's going through any difficult phase in life, don't be disheartened. होता ना बहुत लोग मैंने देखा young girls, they get married, they get divorced. Now I'm not getting married. Now, no second chance. No. Give yourself that chance. Give yourself that opportunity to find a new life, you know. But always keep it halal. Trust me, there is so much of beauty in it. Like, I can't even explain. Or maybe if I'll explain, I'll just keep talking and it will be fajr now. So, let's always try to do everything. Jo bhi hai. Everything has to be where Allah loves everything. And when you impress Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah is going to make everything easy for you. This one beautiful thing, I'll end it with this, that my husband told me for the very first time is, you know, Sana, when you do tawbah, it's a very emotional, I know everybody knows it, but so when you sin, when you do gunas in this dunya, us waqt they say the farishta, they ask Allah that, Allah, give me the permission so that I can, you know, just finish this person right now. I want to kill this person right now. Take his root right now. You know, they get so angry, you know, because of course the disobedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah is like, no, I am the Rabb of them. It's okay, it's okay. And the day that person who sins so much seeks forgiveness from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and does tawbah, that is when they say, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls all those angels. And they say, you wanted to finish this person. Now see how that person came back to me. When my husband was saying this, I was actually imagining myself in that situation because that was my time of doing tawbah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls all the angels and says, you know, you wanted to finish this person off. You didn't believe in this person. But I believed in him or her. You know, I knew that this person would come. I knew this person would change. I was giving this person an opportunity to live. I knew one day this person would do something. And then when you change, he's so happy to say there is, हमने किसी यहाँ पे लगाया chandelier lighting. It's decorated 1,000 folds more in Jannah. Imagine. It's fully decorated, it's all lit up. And then Allah calls Jibreel alayhi salam and he says कि जाओ जाके सबको बता दो that I love this person and you also love this person. कहाँ? दरिया के अंदर सबसे नीचे हिस्से में उन्हें जाके कहो that love this person. वाइल्ड लाइफ जो होती है जंगला, वहां जाए, वहां जाके कहो I love this person. इन्हें जाके पैगाम दो. जिब्रील अलैहि सलाम को कहते हैं इन्हें जाके पैगाम दो. I love this person. You also love them. जितनी भी दुनिया में मखलूक है, you know, जो इंसान है स्पेशली, आप वहां जाके पैगाम दो कि मैं इस बंदा या बंदी को पसंद करता हूँ, तुम भी इसे पसंद करो. And that time, you know, when I was just listening to my husband, and I felt so nice. And then later, when I started seeing that love coming through so many of you all, you know, from so many different countries and all my sisters and mothers, I was like, this is the hadith I heard. My husband said this. And that is the reason people love me, because there is nothing great or anything that I have done in my life for so many of you all to love me, or for so many of you all to like me. It's only Allah's message through Jibreel alayhi salam that has reached your hearts and your mind. That today there is so much of love and respect that I have received that, you know, I never thought of it. And that is what my father-in-law told me day one when he came, you know, when we were getting engaged, that, you know, Sana, we've done tawbah. And Urdu he told me, कि इसकी जो बरकतें हैं ना, आप दुनिया में देखोगी, लेकिन इसका बदला आपको सिर्फ अल्लाह क़यामत के दिन देगा. And then when I see so many good things happening, and I was like, Sana, what were you running for? What were you running for? What were you doing? And after doing so much, you still had humiliation. People character assassinated you. People spoke bad for you. People thought you were a garbage. You're for streets. Huh? Oh, you don't belong to this category. Go and sit behind. You know, you don't belong to the first row. Piche jao, or piche jao. Or somebody else higher than you. आप और पीछे जाओ. This is how, you know, I was treated at times. And see, today Allah made me sit here as a speaker. So Allah can change so many things. Allah can change everything. It's everything. कहते हैं ना, एक एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है कि हाथ ऐसे रखो ना, अल्लाह कहता है लोगों के दिल अल्लाह की ये 2 उंगली के बीच में है. अल्लाह उसे जैसे चाहे वैसे पलट दे. तो हमें बस अल्लाह से दुआ मांगना है कि अल्लाह तू इस्तिकामत दे, अपनी रजा पे राजी कर, जिससे अल्लाह तू खुश है ना, बस मुझे वो वाली जिंदगी दे, बाकी कुछ नहीं चाहिए, है ना. देयर इज नो गारंटी फॉर अ लाइफ, यू नो, यंग ओल्ड, I don't even know I'll be able to sustain I'll reach my hotel or no, I'll be able to do my tomorrow's event or no. None of us know that. So we have to make sure that, you know, we follow the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is 101% success, and there is no way this success is going to be lifetime success. This has nothing to do with your age or, you know, where you stand status wise, nothing. This is forever. Imagine continuing in Jannah, continuing in Akhirah. It's forever. So बस हम कोशिश करें कि हम अपनी जिंदगी को अल्लाह के हिसाब से जिए और जो भी हमारे अंदर कमियां हैं उसके ऊपर वर्क करें. And I'm sure with time it's going to keep getting better. We are going to keep getting better. Make sure that we, you know, we always end up having such gathering. You know, create this gathering at home. एक लास्ट वर्ड बोल के खत्म करती हूँ कि कहते हैं कि जब हम ऐसी जगह पे जो मिलते हैं ना, मैंने खुद भी जब मेरे घर में इज्तिमा होता था इन माय इन-लॉज, हम सबके घरों में नंबर लगता है. दैट्स हाउ इट वर्क्स इन इंडिया. सो एवरी ट्यूसडे इट वाज माय हाउस एंड दिस वाज द लास्ट इज्तिमा दैट आई अटेंडेड. दिस वाज द लास्ट वन, आई मीन. एंड सच ब्यूटीफुल थिंग दैट आलमा, यू नो, आपा सेड, शी टोल्ड, आई डिडंट न्यू अबाउट दिस, आई वाज जस्ट सिटिंग देयर. उन्होंने कहा कि ऑन द डे ऑफ कयामत there will be a saya, arsh ka saya, shade, where there will be loads of women who will be standing under that shade, and also men, of course. But and then there will be a group of people who will just be, you know, dhoop mein under the sun. So they are going to question that who are these women who have this arsh ka saya, and that is when one angel is going to respond, you know, a response is going to come to them that these are the women जो अपने घर से निकली थी सिर्फ अल्लाह और उसके रसूल की बातें सुनने, which is all of us today here. So imagine, मैंने जो कहा है, अगर आपने उसमें से एक चीज नहीं भी की, एक भी चीज नहीं की, but imagine the reward of just coming from your house to here and just sitting here. So imagine if you put anything in amal, how beautiful it's going to be. If only sitting here can make so much of a difference. So yeah, that's it. And और they always say, बड़े बड़े उलमा हमेशा एक अच्छी चीज़ें कहते हैं और मैं हमेशा वो चीज़ को फॉरवर्ड करती हूँ, बिकॉज अच्छी चीज़ें फॉरवर्ड करनी चाहिए. कहते हैं जब हम ऐसे मजलिस में बैठते हैं, when there is a gathering and when we are talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, it's always, there's a very positive feeling, right? There's always a positive feeling. You know, you right now everybody's feeling ये करना है, वो करना है, I want to change this, or this is what I'm going to add in my life, this is what I'm going to eliminate from my life, no music, no movies. So इस टाइम पे कहते हैं कि हम कोशिश करें कि सब लोग अल्लाह से तौबा कर ले कि अल्लाह मेरी तौबा, आज से मैं I'm going to lead a life that pleases you. And they say when you walk out of that door, the main door, wherever you were sitting and having this, you know, listening or talking about it, they say you walk out like a white paper, plain paper, no guna, nothing. And then obviously there's always an opportunity, कुछ भी हुआ तो हम तौबा तो कर ही सकते हैं. But this is your opportunity, even if it's happening at home, even if you 5 of them, 10 of them, 20 of them, no problem. Always do tawbah and get up from there, because you don't know if you're going to survive. You're going to reach home. So this is your golden opportunity. Even I always do that. Wherever I go, wherever I talk, wherever I listen to people, even if it's at my house, I always think, Allah, oh my God, I know I've sinned a lot. I have so many, you know, things written on my list. So please forgive me. Inshallah, I'm going to try and be a better person. You know, improve myself even more. I'm not going to repeat this. You know, I'll try and not repeat this. And in case if I do tawbah again. So, considering that you all are here, at least in your hearts, just, you know, just say tawbah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and trust me, He loves us so much. वो बस अल्लाह पाक तो वेट ही करते कि बंदा कब तौबा करे. आपने तौबा किया, आप एक स्टेप चलोगे, अल्लाह आपके पास भाग के आएंगे. He run and come to you. So Allah has given us multiple opportunities, है ना? And He's most important. He's given us life. We are still breathing. We are alive. We are not dead. We have the opportunity to do the तौबा. तो ये ना सोचे कल करेंगे, परसों करेंगे. जिंदगी का कोई ठिकाना नहीं है, तो बस हम कोशिश करें. हमने तो कितने स्पीकरों को देखा भी इंस्टाग्राम पे, where they're doing daras, where they're speaking, where they're reciting Quran, and they're dead. There was no tomorrow, there was no later. So that's it, and thank you so much, all of you all, for coming. I cannot wait for the Q&As. I know that's going to be very interesting because I always look forward to, to listen to what people want to ask, and in case, of course, if I can help you